Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Dog with you, H. Weber, on a Monday, the 18th. Hope you're having a good holiday for all you folks that had the day off. I didn't. It's good to have you alongside. Welcome to Weber This Week. You know, with the passing of my son-in-law, Matt Foe, it was determined by his sister, Pam Venuti, along with my guest today, Jennifer Harris, and many others, to put together an organization called Thrive to Survive. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk a lot about the upcoming phenomenal 5K, Middle Finger 5K, coming up on May 4th of this year. Welcome to Weber This Week. Well, good afternoon, everybody. They were talking about some snow. I don't think it's that big of a deal. This was a slight couple inches, I guess. They tried to scare it, but we survived, and we're going to get through today, no problem. It's good to have a good longtime friend of mine in the studio today. She was with us last year, and we're talking about the same topic, of course, a wonderful cause, and I'm bringing in Jennifer Harris. Jennifer, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Love it, and look forward to having you come in every year to talk about this, and maybe more than once. Jennifer, we talked about before we went on the air about the dreaded disease or dreaded cancer that has afflicted so many people that are watching my show today, whether it be in your immediate family or your friends or long-distance relatives. It is the scourge of the earth. You personally have gone through it with your family situation. Then, of course, we're glad to hear Max is doing great.
Yes.
Also, the fact that a close friend of, obviously a close relative of mine, my son-in-law Matt Foe, passed away in 2000. You said 2012, right?
Correct.
2012, and sorely missed. Really miss him, and I miss his jokes and the pranks they used to pull on me. But after Matt passed away, you and his sister Pam Venuti decided to start something going on to raise some funds to help out people that are afflicted with this miserable disease, and talk a little bit about the idea behind that. You start off doing sidewalks and raise some money. Give us a little background of what took place.
Yeah, so when Max, my son, was diagnosed, he was just before his 11th birthday, and Matt really was one of the first people that came up to Max. We'd been family friends, and of course his sister's married to my brother, and he just was like, "You're going to be able to beat this," not knowing that he then was going to relapse, and kind of they were going to go through this journey together. And so my sister-in-law Pam and I were kind of like, what's the bigger picture here? Why did we endure through this together? And we realized there weren't organizations in our area that supported people with cancer. Not everybody has the means to be able to take time off of work and pay the medical bills that, even when you have great insurance, it's kind of criminal in terms of how much the medical bills add up, co-pays, gas to get there, all that kind of thing. So we just really started because we wanted to help people get through some of those difficult times so that they could really just focus on healing and not worry about the mundane kind of, how am I going to pay this copay? How am I going to get to my treatment? And so we started with Thrive to Survive. We became a 501c3 just a few months after Matt had passed. And like you said, we, kind of picked up groceries, went to the store, whatever we could do, and then started doing some fundraising, and have since then added lots of programs. We do support groups for people. We have specialized support groups. We do distraction activities. We have health and wellness programs. And then, of course, financial resources for people who need help with assistance.
So I guess the question that I would ask is, do people contact you that are afflicted with the disease, or a family member contact you to see if you would support them? Is there an area that you are focused on, and how does that review? Because you get, obviously, some people want to get help. How does that all take place?
Yeah, so when we started, we focused right in just Geneva. And since then, we've grown to include all of Ontario County, all of Seneca County, Yates County, and Schuyler County right now. And, we're looking at a 5-year plan of kind of expanding even beyond that. But usually someone lets us know that a neighbor or friend or family member has been diagnosed. We send out information and a small gift card that just says, here are programs that we offer. And then it's up to them to apply for the grant or kind of participate in a way that is beneficial to them.
And you said, and I read a lot of the background before you came on board today, Jennifer Harris, my special guest today on the Weber Show. You do things, you sit down, have a cup of coffee, take them to a doctor's appointment, make arrangements. And certainly if you can add some financial stipend to help persons out, because as you know, even if you're sick or contracted with cancer, or the bills keep coming, and like you mentioned, with the cost of prescriptions, it's out of sight, out of mind. So I think I got to think the reception from people that you've helped over the years and that you will continue to help as it continues, certainly people are excited about, and they're really thankful for what you try to do for them. Yeah,
it's interesting because we don't always get to hear those stories, but this morning I was picking up a cup of coffee in Dunkin' Donuts, and somebody came up to me and they're like, you really helped my friend in Penn Yan at a time when they needed it, and thank you so much. But it's interesting, and our support groups are really guided by what our members want to hear about. So sometimes they want to hear about alternative therapies, or sometimes they want to hear about how nutrition plays a part. And in March we have a doctor coming in to talk about medical marijuana, and that's open. All of our support groups are open to anybody, caregivers, survivors, and they're free. So if you look at our website to see if there's a topic that you're interested in, and but it is nice. Like I said, we don't always hear. We've heard some great stories. We have one story of a woman that said she cashed her check all in $20 bills, so that every time she went to the doctor, she knew she had the copay. So those are really touching when you hear those stories. You don't always hear those stories, but to just be approached in Dunkin' Donuts today was neat.
As far as setting up a name, Thrive to Survive, which is very fitting. Talk about the people that are involved in. You mentioned about a committee that is overseeing Thrive to Survive. Give us some names. I know, obviously, Pam Venuti and yourself. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so Pam, myself, and Roseanne Moff, who's actually a good friend of ours, all kind of just started it. And we've since added a couple board members. We have Gina Youngs, who is a survivor herself, Mary Hanlon from Penn Yan, and we have Karen Cardillo, who's our newest member. She's she facilitates the support group meetings, and she's been a great addition too.
And of course, as a result of Thrive to Survive, you've looked for ways to raise money, and certainly when did the idea of putting together a fantastic Middle Finger 5K, which I thought was a phenomenal name for this 5K, by the way, showed your disdain for that cancer, and everybody agrees with that, I might add. When was the decision to begin the racing side of it, as far as a nice race and bring a whole bunch of people together?
I just run in the morning because that's when I could fit it in. So on a whim, 3 years ago, I was like, I'm going to plan this race, and I had a friend of mine that said he would donate $100 if I got 20 people to sign up for a race at 6 in the morning, and he made that donation. So we we were hoping to get 100, 200 people. We sold out at 500 our first year. We raised the cap a little bit last year to 800 and sold out again. And we're hoping to get 1,000 this year.
And as we're hearing you, we have great video that you sent us regarding a recent 5K. And by the way, you don't have to run. You can walk.
Yeah, lots of people walk.
And I think that's a pretty neat video. And so
it's fun. A lot of people do it in honor or in memory of someone that they know that's been impacted by cancer. Last year, our largest team was 82 people out of SOTUS, and they had like T-shirts that said "Destroy Cancer." There they are, right there.
Oh, that's great.
This year so far, we have our largest team at this point is 46 people, and they get really into it and dress in some type of theme, and definitely try to promote the health and excitement for their loved one.
Now, as far as upcoming, this is coming up May 4th.
Yeah.
And it's in Geneva.
Yes.
So give us a little background. I know Jimmy will probably show some slides regarding. Give us an idea of where we stand right now, is how people get enrolled in this and how they contact. And I think Jimmy's going to probably show some of that. You probably sent some of that information over, right, as far as registration goes?
Yeah. So easiest is probably just thrivetosurvive.org. There's a link right through our website that you can register for. You could Google Middle Finger 5K 2019 and it'll show up.
Which I've done all weekend.
Yeah. It's a run sign up registration platform, so it's pretty easy to find.
And as you know, you have to get a mass of people that have to help out. And you were mentioning that you probably need 50 volunteers. You probably got a bunch already lined up. But anyone's checking us out today on the Weber Show, if you are interested, Jennifer and her team would love to have you help out. And I'm sure there are on your website, by the way, or if you pull up Middle Finger 5K, there are different areas that you can help out.
Yeah, so you can register through the page to run or walk, and you could also register to volunteer. And there's different areas, so if you know you want to pass out water, or if you want to be a cheerleader, you could kind of sign up for things that are interesting to you.
Right. And when they walked in this afternoon, and I'll show that probably, but here we go. Jennifer brought us a nice little shirt. All right, there you go. And on the back, it's got all the great sponsors, and of course, without an operation such as a race that drives quite a bit of money for the cause, some of the main sponsors, you want to run over a few of them for us?
Sure. So this year, Lions National Bank has really taken the lead. They are our largest sponsor. That was last year's shirt, so they're not on that, but they will definitely be across the front of the back of the shirt. They're actually going to have a display for us in their bank, the Geneva Bank,
Great.
in March. Yeah, so we're really excited about that. A couple repeats: Water Street Cafe, Hogan's Racing Team, Sealand Contractors. Like, they've been also some of our top sponsors all 3 years, so we're really appreciative of that. We have a new TLM Excavating out of Penn Yan as one of our top sponsors, so we couldn't do it without them. We pride ourselves that 100% of the proceeds goes directly to our programming, and the reason that we're able to do that is because of our sponsors. So,
and by the way, Jennifer also brought me a hat, and I should have Jimmy take a shot of the hat. There it is. So
so American Rhino is actually out of Boston, but Hobart grad, and they have helped donate with prizes and whatnot in the past year, and they're going to donate some volunteer shirts this year. So we're really excited about that.
We all come on this earth, and sometimes you have setbacks, and sometimes you have to deal with it, and you certainly have in your family, and we have in my family with Matt's passing. But for you and Pam and everybody connected to do all this work to lead up to an event, or to just to do what you do, it has to be enriching for you personally, and has to really be warm to think about that what you're doing is really, maybe you can't stop the disease, maybe you can't do anything about that, but at least the support and the warmth that you and your team are doing, going and spending some time with somebody and helping them out, or taking them to the doctors. How many times people need a ride to the doctor, because maybe their spouse is working, because obviously the person afflicted may not be able to work. So that has to really be special in your heart, and as the rest of the people that work with you that are so dedicated to make this work, continuous.
Yeah. I think for me, it's hard sometimes because we get close to people and then we lose people, and we get close to families and all that, so that's hard. But for the most part, for me, I enjoy giving back. It's been a very healing and humbling process for me, just going through it with my own family, and then now getting to meet all these amazing, wonderful people. And I truly have expanded my group, my people, and I feel really blessed that I have been able to do it, and I hope that I can continue for as long as I can.
Well, I'm sure you will. Jennifer Harris, my special guest, talking about Thrive to Survive, the wonderful organization. 100% of proceeds that they get from anybody, anywhere, any business, it all goes to fight this dreaded, bastardly disease called cancer. Let's take our commercial break. We'll come back and talk to Jennifer more after this. Del Lago Resort and Casino has something for everyone. 2,000 slot machines, 99 gaming tables, The Vine featuring top national music and comedy acts, the dining options, the Great Portico by Fabio Viviani, the Farmers Market Buffet, the Social Cafe and Bar, and the 14,000 square foot European-style spa. Del Lago offers massages, body treatments, and facials, plus a full-service salon. Visit DelLagoResort.com for more information. Cayuga Lake National Bank, offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of mine for over 35 years. great staffing at Seneca Lake National Bank. Check them out. DA's Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. By the way, the Padula family has been a sponsor of mine for 33 years. Bostrom Farms is a butcher shop focused on providing fresh local meat to the Finger Lakes region. The retail store is located on Routes 5 and 20 in Stanley. They offer a full range of pork, beef, and chicken products that you can feel real good about. Buying food for your family should be fun. At Bostrom Farms, we put the fun and trust back into buying meat. The McGee Diner, located off New York State Thruway, exit 41. The McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country fresh home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and check out their menu at mcgeediner.com. And I thank Gary and Kathy Schlegel for their fine support of Weber This Week. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes is a child-friendly location where allegations of physical or sexual abuse are responded to by a multidisciplinary team of professionals. The team works together to conduct a thorough investigation and to provide necessary support services to children and their non-offending caregivers with a goal of minimizing further trauma to a child. The Newark Pilots are the perfect game collegiate baseball league, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at newarkpilots.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at theomentheater.com, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. The Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Just a reminder, speaking of Bostrom Farms, they got a big sale going over there starting, it'll end on Wednesday. Local ground beef, 5-pound packs, $3.99 a pound. French cut pork chops, Jennifer's getting hungry, $4.99 a pound. Local bone and fresh hams, frozen, $1.99 a pound. Lots of great specials over at my new sponsor, Bostrom Farms, out in Stanley. Go past the old landfill as you get out of Geneva on the right-hand side, a little further down, setback is Bostrom's Farm. They're a great sponsor. And by the way, kudos goes out. Speaking of them, they I had a, a moment of screw-up last week on the show, and I was promoting, they were giving away a ribeye steak, the fine folks at Bostrom Farms. And it was a ribeye steak, Jennifer, and I had mentioned on my show live last week that it was a 13 to 16-inch steak instead of ounce. So, I'm sorry, Bostrom Farms, don't cancel my show quite yet. So I take full advantage and full responsibility of screwing that up. By the way, a good friend of mine won that ribeye steak, and Jennifer knows her, Chelsea Ann DeBoover.
Oh, that's great.
Chelsea Ann won.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she gave any to Josh. So
that's fabulous.
So sorry for the screw up last week, and I appreciate Bostrom's Farms. By the way, Jennifer, let's go back. Jennifer Harris, my special guest today, talking about Thrive to Survive. Of course, the Middle Finger 5K. During the commercial breaks, we were talking about some of the things as far as registration. Why don't you run over some of those issues you were talking about a minute ago?
Sure. So we were just excited to say we're over a third of the way there. We've been really excited. The last 2 years, we've sold out a month before. So even though we raised the cap this year, we're hoping for similar results. We have participants from 6 states.
That's great.
Coming in. So, and I think like 25 or 27 cities, something like that. So we're really excited. We're working with downtown Geneva. We're trying to make it more of a community event, kind of benefit everybody. The nice thing for me is that it's done early and then you have the whole day, but it'd be great to bring all those people into the city and have stores open and be able to kind of shop and participate in that.
As registration goes, what times that start? Different days leading up to it? to register?
No, so registration's open now, and
Okay.
we'll stay open until we sell out.
Okay,
Or,
fine.
yeah.
And then the day before the race, they can start picking up packets, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so we're actually going to have a packet pickup in Rochester this year at the Fleet Feet on the Thursday before, which would be May 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, May 2nd. And then Friday night in Geneva, we call it our check-in party, and it's the Sons of Italy voluntarily lets us use their space, which is great. And we have wineries and breweries, local wineries and breweries that are there and set up, and they do taste tests for anyone that's 21 and over. They sell some of their products. So Reinvention Brewery has a Middle Finger IPA, actually, and they
That's great.
have that in cans this year, so they're really excited to be able to sell some of those. And Anthony Road is going to be there again. We have some great breweries and things.
And so the race begins at what time?
So it starts at 6 a.m. And the reason for that is because the sun rises at 5:55 at that time of year. And, with each sunrise is hope of another day. And we just want everyone to kind of celebrate you have today and, make the best of it.
I can't imagine what time you get there. If it starts at 6, is it like 4 o'clock,
Yeah,
4:30?
4. It's not too bad.
No.
It's not too bad. We get there 4. Like you had mentioned, we got a big crew of volunteers, so everyone kind of has a task, and everybody does what they need to do.
And it's rain or shine.
Rain or shine. Our first year it was pouring rain, and all 500 people were there doing it. So they have breakfast at the Ramada after, which is really nice. You could run and then eat a bunch of bacon. Usually have cake donated. So cake and bacon at 6:30 in the morning. What else?
Priceless, right?
What else are you doing at 6 in the morning?
I can't imagine. As far as cost of entering it is how much? The cost of
It's $30 unless you're on a team of 4 or more, and then you save $5. And we have 11 teams that so far that have over 10 people. We kind of put the team names on the back of the shirt, so that's kind of motivating for some too.
So, as you lead up to it, here we are in February, and still got, hard to believe, it'll be here in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
Pretty
hopefully
fast.
it'll be warmer and without snow, but you never know when I'm staying in New York.
No,
we could have snow in May.
No, you never know. And, I think, I think what you're doing is just phenomenal. I can't get over the fact that something that started off, and like you said, you and Pam Venuti were, shoveling sidewalks to pick up a few bucks, and now you've got some great sponsors. And by the way, if anyone's checking us out today on the air, and that's a sponsor in a business, whether it's small, medium, or large, and you want to donate, how do they donate? They just go on middle.
Yeah, they could go
5.
right to thrive2survive.org.
Drive to Survive.
They can contact me. There's individual contact information for myself, for Pam, for Roseanne, or there's just a general hotline.
Yeah, we urge anybody watching us today, if they, like to donate some money to the cause, that's the way to get a hold of that opportunity. And I know that they would be more than happy and satisfied and appreciative of any donation they can get.
And it goes all to people in our community. So.
And, and the thing I like about it, too, 100% of all things is used for the phenomenal Thrive to Survive scenario, too, to help out.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, we can't cure cancer. And we specifically have decided not to spend money on research only because there are people who are much smarter than we are and who are doing that. But, what we found when we were going through it is oftentimes the families need the support and the families need the resources. And so that's where we have chosen to kind of focus our mission.
And I think it's well done. And I think there it is up on the screen right now, pulling up some information. Yeah, as far as I know, you're doing a great job, and what you're doing, what you set out to do, has to be warm to you guys for doing it, and more people that can get connected to the cause is going to make it even better. And it's a fun time, and I love the starting time. I think that's unique.
It is.
I think that's one of the few races I've ever heard of that began at 6 a.m. in the morning, but that's okay. I like what your idea of the 5:55 sunup time.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, because I love the Middle Finger 5K name. I love that. So whose idea was it to call it Middle Finger 5K?
Well, when I originally was thinking of this, I was thinking Sunrise 5K, and it doesn't really have a good bell. And I always dreamt, my husband at the time owned a little business, building on Seneca Street, and I always said I was going to open it as the Middle Finger gift shop because Seneca Lake is the Middle Finger lake.
All right. That's great.
Although some would argue it's not because there's 11 and there's the Cuca. But so, and then metaphorically, give the finger to cancer. So it just kind of,
like that.
It kind of worked.
That's great. I love the name.
Yeah.
I love the name.
Well, and we sold the building, so I'm not opening the gift shop. So I'm running a race instead.
Well, listen, you're more than happy to come back anytime you'd like. Give me a call anytime you want to come back and update us. We'll find a slot for you for the Weber Show and continue to push this phenomenal Thrive to Survive and this wonderful, I love this 5K scenario, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and even just having the opportunity to be on here helps get the word out, helps people know that Thrive to Survive exists. So if you are someone that needs assistance or you know somebody that has just recently been diagnosed, let us know, and we'll reach out and see how we can help.
Well, thank you very much for your help, and thanks for coming in, all right? So before we go off the air, I got a couple of things to run by, folks. I've done a lot of interviews, a lot of different characters, and a lot of different shows, different topics, and Jimmy gave me this tip about some outstanding wrestlers at, our alma mater, Miners Academy. I've never really interviewed a whole bunch of wrestlers, but next week we're going to really bury this studio. We got a few people coming in, like 5 I understand right now. My friend Bill Major is setting it all up. His son, Mason Major, a senior, will be here. These are all expected, by the way. Trent Youngs, who I believe was in the States, or is going to the States, wrestling opportunity for the Miners Academy Blue Devils. He's a senior. He'll be here. CJ Zerniak, a senior. Max McDermott, a senior. And Dylan Harris, a junior. They're all expected to be here next week in our broadcast. Jimmy will finagle these microphones to work with all these folks. We got lots of room here. We can certainly make it happen. We're going to talk about their records, about their wrestling skills, how they got in it, how they've done. Is it easier to lose weight or gain weight? I'm thinking it's got to be gain. Go out and get a couple dozen wings and you'll add a couple of pounds. So the Miners Academy Wrestlers will spotlight next week on the Weber Show, and I certainly think it'll be a unique show. I'm looking forward to interviewing these young men. So, and thank you, Jennifer, again, and thank you, Jimmy Senacropi. So for Jennifer, along with Jimmy Senacropi, our producer, the dog here. Hey, by the way, no, can't go, Jimmy. I forgot. SU basketball, 2 classic games coming up this week. Wednesday night, that game's in the Dome, right? Louisville, Jim?
Yep.
Louisville at Syracuse. Louisville's a good team. Syracuse is a good team. See who's going to happen. The game I'm looking forward to, and me and Mary have already made our plans. We're going to sit home and watch SU at home. Duke. They beat Duke. Everybody that was shocked in the world of college sports that Duke lost at home. Duke now comes to the Syracuse Orange, and they'll be ranked number 1 in the country. Does it get any better than that? They're anticipating a crowd of anywhere's an all-time record. I heard numbers of 35 to 36,000 people, and the temperatures, Jimmy, are supposed to be in the mid-40s. Jimmy's got a game to do on Saturday night, and he's not going to want any of you to go up and tell him to score. So for Jennifer and Jimmy, go SU. That's Weber this week. Take care, everybody.